So if you're thinking about becoming a gameplay animator, there's plenty of things that you actually have in your mind, especially if you're starting to study or if you actually start a university right now, college in the US. All of the young animators that actually have big dreams to actually have an amazing career in games. Specifically, I think that there's lots of tips that I can give you in this video about how you actually set yourself up for the win by the time you finish your degree, your course, or whatever you actually decide to study at this point, because you getting ready for, let's say you have a 3 years bachelor, or if you have a year course, you setting yourself up while you make the course for the win in the end is super important. Because believe it or not, like, what they don't tell you a lot of the time is that when you are just studying and learning, sometimes that's not enough and you need so much more than that by the time you finish. So this video is dedicated to you guys, so you can hopefully finish your course, finish your degree, and then win. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, welcome to another video. My name is Harvey Newman, for all those that are new to the channel. Now, I've been in the games industry for 20 plus years, and I've worked mostly in AAA games, and I love this industry. I love to talk about it, and this is what this channel is dedicated to. Now, this video is specifically for all those young people that have dreams to become a gameplay animator, that have dreams to become a developer, that want to get into the industry, but want to make sure that they do it in the best way possible. Now, I had plenty of questions before I joined the industry. Unfortunately, we didn't have anything like this to kind of show you guys, tell you guys about some of the ups and downs, especially for young minds that can be easily impressed. That was me when I was really young. So this video is basically for those that actually are going through that journey now. Now, without losing any more time, my first tip for you guys is be careful or choose wisely the school or college or course that you decide to take when it comes to gameplay animation. Because what happens a lot of the time, and it happened to me at an early age, is that when people think about a developer or an animator or in games, they might think that the only thing they need to learn is animation. However, that is far from the truth, because when you are a games developer and you are working specifically in animation, and this works also for artists and other departments, you normally end up having to learn more than just your skill, because engines are complicated. Also, there is the social aspect or the interdepartmental aspect of working with others and having to kind of learn a little bit of every single department so you understand the big picture of the game. So whatever college, whatever university, whatever course you decide to do, make sure that whoever is trying to teach you, whoever is leading the course, or is people that actually have had experience in the industry in some way or the other, and they know how to work the pipeline or a game and publish the game. So very much like when you go and to apply for a job and they ask you for experience, like, do you have 3 years of experience, or have you published any games? Most studios are asking that so they understand that you know what it takes to ship a game, to make sure that you have a game from beginning to end, and you know how hard it is, the journey from beginning to end. Now, you should ask the same thing of your teachers, because if you haven't been through the trenches, it's very hard for you to truly understand every aspect of what's needed to ship a game, and for you to kind of like understand from your teacher, like, and have a reality check of what really needed to get to the end goal, right? So be very careful and choose wisely the place that you decide to go to learn gameplay animation or game development or game design. This is really important, and this is definitely step one. Now, step two is learn in your spare time. So this is something that I wish I was also told, and my university, at least the way they sold me the course, was very much that way. Don't worry, by the time you finish, you're going to be able to actually not only have like perhaps work in certain big studios, but also you'll be able to kind of like work anywhere, and you're going to be an expert in what you do. Nothing was further from the truth, and I wish somebody had told me, because what I had to do then is basically spend the next 2 years really learning the craft of animation, really learning about games development, really learning what it took to actually get into games, get into film, whatever you decide to do. Even when you become a professional, even when you actually are working in the industry, the people that thrive the most are the people that are actually working either on their own, on their own portfolio, or perhaps they're contractors that are working in multiple jobs. And the reason why is because it allows you to basically learn faster, but also keeps you on your toes, so you know that you don't know everything, if that makes sense. And this is really important because the idea of, big fish, small pond will basically fizzle away incredibly quick when you get into any studio. And what you need to think about is that you are a small fish in a big pond, even at university. So you working extra on top of all the work that you have to do for your degree, which I know is also hard, will prepare you like nothing else. You basically take the opportunity, you seized it with both hands, and then you went above and beyond, right? And this is good for any studio that is looking to hire you, because when you actually go for an interview, especially as a student, people almost assume immediately that you are going to have to be taken by the hand quite a lot, and you're going to have to be told exactly what to do because you're young. So for you to kind of like eradicate all those things, just get used to it before, so by the time you start, you can be proactive. And also they will listen to you much more within the studio, so you'll build your authority within the studio, and that's an amazing thing to have, especially at a young age, because it will give you a lot of confidence in your skills going forward, right? You allow you to have a much more fruitful career later on. Now, the third one is analyze games. Play games. If you really love games, you need to play games, you need to analyze games first and foremost. Playing them is not enough. Analyzing them is the important bit. And the reason why is because when you go to interviews, yet again, people will ask you about, so what games are you playing? Why do you like them? What made them stand out to you? And if you have deep answers to those questions, they will like you, and they will understand, and they will figure out that you're a proper gamer and that you are in it because of the art of games and not just for the fun of games. Those two things are separate. They go together in the end. Ask any QA person out there that is playing the same game 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for years. They will tell you that the game is no longer fun to them. So this is why you have to basically play them, learn things from it, analyze them, and then make notes on why you think certain things are better. So by the time you finish your degree, you're ready, right? So when they ask you that question, you know exactly why you like certain games. You need to also learn about engines. So let's say you want to be a designer or an animator. You want to learn about design and animation, right? But that's not enough. So nowadays, you need to learn about the engine side of things. And a lot of the engine theory and knowledge is generic. You can use Unity, Unreal, and it's the same. However, I would say that you actually should spend your time in Unreal. And the reason why I'm saying Unreal is because most AAA studios out there are adhering to Unreal more and more. Plus, Unity is more of an indie game kind of engine, so the things that you can do in Unity you can do in Unreal, but the things that you can do in Unreal at a AAA level you cannot do in Unity. So the more you get used to Unreal, the more you realize about what's possible and how good you are, and especially if you get familiar with Blueprints or Nanite or any of the tech that is coming in now that is fresh, that is amazing, that will actually kind of put you in a really good position, because even though you want to just animate or you want to just design or engineer or whatever it is, you having the knowledge of the engine, of what goes on behind the scenes, goes a long way for you to not only find out what you can do, but also suggest new ideas of the game that perhaps people are not thinking about. Because if there's one thing that basically young minds are great at, is coming up with amazing ideas for games, and like experienced developers like myself that understand this will be listening to you and be like, man, I didn't even thought about that. Man, I didn't play this game that had so and so. And this is why you are so valuable to any studio, but you only are that way if you come in with great ideas, with the experience, with the analysis of certain things that you liked. Now, 2 more and then we'll wrap up. So 5th one is go to festivals, go to events, and network with people. We are all, as game developers in general, we are all introverts and we don't like to go out. It's hard. We like to play games. We like to stay inside. It's our own time, maybe with friends. That's it. But you going out, you networking, you meeting other people is what ultimately gets you the job. Because what happens is when you meet people face to face, let's say I meet Peter, and Peter is a young man that is really excited about the studio. Perhaps his showreel or his work is not up to par, but I can see that his personality is exactly what we need in the studio, right? So I'm willing, as experienced developer, to give Peter a pass and be like, you know what, he needs to learn a lot, but I think that he will be a good fit for the studio, and I think he will stay here for the long term. So I'm willing to kind of be me as Harvey Newman. I'll be able to say, look out for Peter, here's his business card, look out for him, because if his showreel is good enough, we might actually give him a chance. And studios and all around the world think in this way. And this is why it's so important to meet people face to face, because if you do, you'll create a lasting memory or an impact on the person, on the professional. And it means that if you have a really good business card, they might pass it along to somebody that can actually hire you, or they can hire you themselves. If you do that online, it means that you lose that personal feeling, and it means that you don't have a lasting impact, and you are just a CV, you are just a resume that basically says, I have no experience and I'm looking for a job. That's it, right? So this is why going to festivals, going to events is super important. And then lastly, one of the things that I wish I had done more when I was young, once again, it was not as big as now, but it was building my social media presence. So you have, let's say, a year of a course or 3 years of a bachelor's degree, and you have a lot of time to actually build your social media presence. Now, this can be something from you kind of like saying like, I love animation, I'm passionate about games, I play this game, I analyzed it, I love this feature, I love that feature, or sharing your work is even better, just sharing what you've done, work in progress, here's my block-out. All of those things allow people like myself that are always on social media, that are always looking out for the next talent, to kind of go through it and be like, man, this guy, he basically can do quite a bit. And I think, given how he actually talks, and I know a little bit about your personality just based off how you tweet, how you actually interact with people, I feel like maybe we want to interview him. Maybe we want to talk to him, her, to make sure that, you know, maybe he might be a good fit for the studio. It's just very much like this YouTube channel. Me putting videos every single week, talking to you guys, giving you guys advice. When I get to meet you guys in person, doesn't matter if it's at Gamescom, at GDC, there's a sense of like, you know me because of my videos. And this is basically like what you are looking for right now with social media, is to make sure that people know you and know your skills and know your passion. And when they know those things, they know that you love games, they know that you love design or animation, and then they start to build a picture about the kind of person you are, and if it fits within a specific studio or position that they're looking for. So it helps you a ton. And that's all the tips that I had. Now, as usual, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you did, if you're a student, if you're studying, course, degree, doesn't really matter, drop a comment down below, ask me questions if you have any. Don't forget that motion capture is also a really important part of learning games or learning development, especially if you're an animator. I have a motion capture course that I released not long ago that you should definitely check out if you haven't so far, see if it can help you. And that's it. Until next week, stay well, stay safe, peace.